What's going on, everybody? Thanks for clicking on the video. My name is David Pendleton, and today we're going to talk about Grunberg slopes, hole number 4, which is a par 4, and is currently located on tour number 8. This will continue my tour 8 hole-by-hole walkthrough. If you want to know more about the strategy that I take into tour 8, such as the clubs that I use, what ball I use, some different value systems of the game, check out the description below and click on my strategy video link. So this hole is fun because we kind of get to play it two different ways. And in most tailwinds and crosswinds, we're going to play the black line here, which allows some of the players that have the same personality type as me, who like to just really try to gamble and hit the ball far from time to time, we get to play that black line. But, you know, we also have to be smart in the game when it comes to wanting to pick up as many wins as possible. If we do get a headwind, okay, it is best that we play the red line. Now, both drives are extremely safe. It's very difficult not to get to the green in 2 because this is a very short par 4. So almost every time you're going to be birdieing this hole, and a lot of these times you're going to go to a shootout. But if we can play the black line, I will show you a good way to win it in regulation. Okay, so the black line drive is played at 10%, and shot number 2 is also played at 10%. If we play the red line, shot number 1 is 10%. Shot number 2 is 20%. Let's go into some replays. So here is an opponent that has an extra mile 9 using a katana ball. So, you know, obviously a very good club, a very good ball, especially for tour number 8 here, a short par 4. Now he clips the rough and he rolls into the rough. So, you know, he's not going where he wants to be. And I'll show you why I showed you this here in a second. All right, so here we're using our navigator like we always do. And I'm going to teach you one thing in the game that's going to really improve your accuracy if you can follow around at what I'm saying. All right, do you see right now how my ball guideline, the first bounce, of course, is on the fairway. The second bounce right now is in the rough, showing my ball guideline rolling out. If you take your target and you push up into overpower, okay, like I am right here, do you notice now that my ball guideline is completely on the second fairway? If I was able to take the shot like that. Now, we know that we're not able to take a shot exactly like that because we have to overpower. So it's not like we can put our target there, just aim and shoot. There is a way in the game to adjust for this. I want you to notice what's going on right here. So, all right, so notice right now that my yellow ring here is completely covered by this new line that pops up when I go into overpower. So hopefully you can see my great artwork there with my arrow. There is a new red line right here that is going about halfway through the orange or red ring, whatever color you want to call it. So that red line is 1.5 rings into my shot. So what you can do when you adjust your rings, so here we're playing 6.4 miles an hour, okay? So let me show you what I'm talking about. And this will be the only time that I do this. What account is this? Okay, so power at 1 ball, 6.4 miles an hour. We're playing 10% at max. So we have to move our target 3.4 rings, which you're going to see me do here. Okay, so here I'm moving 3.4. All right. Now I flip the screen back around and I push back up 1.5 because that's where that red line was. So I was pushing up 1.5 rings into overpower. So once I adjust my shot, if I then re-push back up that same amount of rings, do you see how our ball went exactly where we wanted to? So I hope you're able to follow that, and one day I'll make a rings video. But that's one little trick in the game that can make your shot very accurate, okay? Now from here, our opponent should be able to make it onto the green. Like I said, it's very difficult for someone to not make it to the green in 2 on this hole, even when you have a really bad drive like our opponent did. But when we execute our drive going this way, we play shot number 2 at 10%, like I said. And once we get down here into our short iron range, If you pull your rings properly and you adjust from mid to max, as long as you know where you're at in your club, you can win this hole a lot of times by sinking that eagle right there, which a lot of people just won't make. So here's another example of the same hole. So again, we're getting tailwind. You can see there that when I push up, I'm only pushing up about half of a ring in the overpower, okay? We hit a perfect ball this time. Now you can see here that I use a little bit of right curl because what we don't want to do is we don't want to roll into this rough right here that's by this sand trap. Now the second part of this is you don't want to use so much curl that, because if you curl too much, there's a huge distance from your landing spot to over this rough and over this sand. If you use too much right curl, then what will happen is too much right curl and you'll clip this rough over here and you'll roll out, which is fine. You'll just lose distance on the drive, which is no big deal. But the more distance we can get, the shorter that second shot becomes. So again, you'll see here the curl I use is not even half a ball of curl, pretty close to half a ball of right curl. And we just missed that rough right there. Well, there's still plenty of distance, but you just have to be very mindful of the curl that you use on this hole. Okay. And then that's going to bring us here to shot number 2. Again, with the thorn, that's the best scenario we can be in. This is a little bit more of an aggressive wind for tour 8. So here we're looking almost at 8.5 miles per hour. Perfect ball, and we're dead center in the cup. And we're picking up another eagle for another win. Now in this situation, we were getting 8.6 mile per hour tailwind. This opponent here has an extra mile level 8 using a power 1 ball. Now you can see here that when he stretches out, he has plenty of room onto the second fairway. Okay, so keep that in note. Plenty of room onto the second fairway. He's using full overpower and a perfect shot. You can't get there, okay? Here's why. This hole has a lot of good teaching moments in Golf Clash. That's why I'm spending a little bit more time on it. From here is your landing target. All the way, so once the ball touches here, it has to go all the way and go over all this stuff. That secondary wind is going to push you back, and a lot of people don't account for secondary wind as well. They say, okay, my ball guideline is on the fairway, that second fairway, it should be fine. The only thing that happens when you adjust for your ring or you adjust for overpower is you're only adjusting to land here. Once the ball lands down again, this wind comes back into play, and it's going to affect all this area right here, which is why our opponent got knocked backwards and into the sand. So just be mindful of that. So here, I'm going to show you when we go this way. So this way we get headwind. So we're going to drive down the right-hand side of the fairway. This is a very, very simple drive to execute. And as you can see, even though we're playing this side, we're going to have an easy shot to pin. Sometimes it's with your wood club, sometimes it's with your long iron. Just note that. I do play this 20% elevation. And again, you just have to check whether you're at mid, medium, or max of your club. More than likely, when you're playing with your Goliath, you'll be at max. This is a more difficult drop to get, but you can see here we leave it right at the pin. So this is another tailwind situation. You can see here I'm pushing my rings back up like I taught you how to do on the first video. This was a lot more of a ring push-up just because the wind strength was a little higher. But, you know, if you get that shot down, if you can understand how to push back up your rings after you pull, you're going to become a really good player. You know, you'll be head and shoulders over a lot of opponents in the game. So here we are checking the distance of our club again. You know, the thing is, I don't know what I played all these thorn shots at. They're all going to be different based off how many yards you get on the drive. But we do hit a perfect ball, and we hit the cup or the pin, and we're dead in there again for another eagle and a win. So these are just more shots to the pin after you execute that tailwind drive or crosswind drive. Perfect ball, center of the cup, and we're in there for another eagle. All right, so here's another drive going down the right-hand side because we're getting crosswind, but remember the crosswind here is mixed with headwind. So any headwind scenario, we are going to play this side. If this would have been crosswind mixed with tailwind, then we would have played down the middle there, okay? But again, very easy drive, lots of fairway to work with. You don't even have to use full topspin on this approach because it doesn't really matter how far you get down this fairway. All the second shots are going to be the same. So this is a different wind angle, but it's still headwind. Just this time the wind is flickering from right to left. That's the first time we saw this angle, but they're all played the exact same. You can see here I'm landing around the same part of the fairway, and that just brings us in for this shot. This shot I played 10% elevation just because the wind was so small. You don't normally only get 4 miles an hour on tour number 8. This is very, very low for this tour. That's really the only time that I would adjust an elevation in one-on-one is if my wind is so small I don't have to worry about a big push. But we come in very close. But like I said, more times than not, you're going to play shot number 2 at 20%. Hey everybody, I hope you found this video helpful. I hope that if you're not a subscriber that you please become one after watching this video. Give me a thumbs up if you found this tutorial, beneficial, and let your clan know about my channel. That way you guys can all get better at Tour 8 together and rack up more clan points. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.